They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said, Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
One Westworld. One Westworld. One Westworld. One
This one Westworld.
I guess I should ride with Lex.
They talk about man. Oh no. Yo, it's about time, so no pressure to our enemies. You can try to run when you gone, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get the wrong, right, get another legacy.
If I gotta do the shit, when I do it, do it carefully. You can lose everything you own over jealousy. When I met her, I ain't never sweat her, I just let her breathe. See you down, keep my foot on you, that's not my pedigree. At your throat, I done took her oath, I pray I never leave. I'm a different guy, you're surprised, tucked in my sleeve. Boy, you fucking stupid, sold your seat for some bloody bees. True nation, cut the conversation, better keep it brief.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run where you going, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It ain't that they don't wanna know, we tell them, they just won't believe. It's about the journey, I ain't worried, moving at my speed. Saying we ain't much to be desired, gotta disagree. Scarring one of mine, then we spinning like rotisserie. Go against the odds, I'm ready, this another victory. Cut different, niggas moving foul, where the referee. Moving like the military, something they ain't never seen. It's the one West world for the people, this is what they need.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run where you going, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Music gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Music gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
I guess I should ride with Lex.
Back row.
Than an ice pick on you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see, most of them scared to witness. Go on, close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll poly grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. That's why I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tech, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Tahoe Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed jump, can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. The king, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart, grip my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart, grip my bow tie. Living in this world in my whole life, my whole life.
I know exactly what they want. I know exactly what they want. Just be patient. My name is my name, power and glory, I never change. Stand on loyalty, remain the same. Say what you mean, speak on my name, you go to war with me. We move the same, you think that it's for me. Running the game, kicking the door with me. All through the pain, the snow, the rain, the ups and downs. My name did more for me, y'all keep the fame. I want the glory, been that nigga, bitches never ignored me. Rich in spirit, little bitch can't afford me. They want static, fix it with a 4G, red beam.
Hey, Shalom, Adiyah. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yashar Baraka Thumb. To all the brothers, Yahweh Hashem Thumb Hashem Yashai. To all the sisters, Priest and Officer 1000 is a Badra. Back at it. It's another law class. About to get it in. Be ye perfect. This law is perfect. You can be sinless. You don't have to be like the Christian disgusting pastor being swallowed up, right? You don't have to be like Kirk Franklin writing songs in the nude and feeling the need to tell another man that, I don't know why he felt the need to tell another man that he was writing songs in the nude. It was kind of pause. Listen, he could have just kept that information to himself. Like, we knew he was a little purple lad, but good night. He felt the need to come and tell us. These Christian pastors are their demons are fully popping out, and their demons do not want to stay in the closet no more. Salakia, one moment. Hey, Shalom, Adiyah. What's going on with you?
Hey, Shalom, priest. What's going on, priest?
I'm Tuab. Adiyah, can you take over for a quick second, Baba Kasha?
Okay, come. No sweat. And like also Zabadi was saying, you understand, the UPK is here, you understand, to show you, you understand, how to move according to the Most High. You understand? Like, you see what happened, like, you understand, like Salakia, let me go back, you understand, with that swallowed up, you understand? You see a big preacher, you understand, talking about being swallowed up. You understand? Well, we've been living in hell in this empire, man. We've been living in hell. Why? Because we don't want to follow these laws. You understand? Our forefathers did not follow these laws. And still today, like these same preachers, you understand, that asking you, have you ever been swallowed up? Are teaching you not to follow, you understand, the Most High. And this is why we remain in the condition that we in today. You understand? This is why, you understand, we still in the bottom as a people, man. You understand? Like, I don't know for yourself, but as for me, as for us as a body, as for the brothers in the school and the sisters, you understand, that's really true to the school, you understand, and their people, you understand, we want to be on top, man. You understand? Everybody wants to say, like, the black sheep, but we are the black sheep of the world. We should be on top. It's them too long for us, you know what I'm saying? For us to be in the bottom, for us to be over here, you understand, in poverty, without knowledge of self. Why can't we be in the bottom, man? Why can't we be on top? So like, why are we always in the bottom, man? And why can't we be on top? Why can't we be in a better place than we are today? Well, this is why we have the I.S.U.P.K. This is why we have, you know what I'm saying, Commanding General YAHANNA, man. We don't only organization, we don't only school, we don't only, you know what I'm saying, group of people that's gonna tell you, you know what I'm saying, how to do this, you know what I'm saying, perfectly and follow God perfectly like this. You could be perfect. The Christian tell us nobody's perfect, nobody can be perfect. Meanwhile, Christ said, "Be ye perfect." Understand? So like a
Right. Throughout the audio, that was well said. Throughout it again. Get that priest a hand. Get that priest a hand. The audio, I heard you went to Jerusalem. How'd that go?
Yeah, I wanted to just chime in on that.
You went to Harlem, Jerusalem.
Yeah, I want to chime in on that real quick. You understand? And after that, I'm gonna dip. You understand? Like I was in that quarter, New York. You understand? You already know all them. You understand? It was a wonderful, it was a blessing. You understand, to be over there. You understand? Like, thankfully, you understand. There's a sister that's in the world that's in the work that we do. You understand? In Canada, she's in the Bronx. You understand? She's in the Bronx. She's in the work that we do. You understand? Well, you understand? She contacted me and whatnot. And while talking to her and whatnot, I'm like, you know, she was like, "Well, have you ever been in New York?" I'm like, "Yeah, I came for the, you know, for the 50th Passover, but I've never been." You know, because we was watching class together, right? And then she's like, "Well, you know what? You're gonna come to New York. You're gonna come to the school." But, you know, I said, "I've never been over there." You know, she's like, "You gonna come over there?" I'm like, "Well, I got a Passover. We got a Passover. We got this. We got that." She's like, "Don't sweat it. You're gonna come into school." And you know, next thing you know, you know, she bought the ticket the same day. You understand, for me to drop down over there, you understand, to meet up with the brothers and whatnot, you understand, and did the work of the Most High, you understand. So even, you understand, like Most High in Christ, you understand, to water for that sister as well, you understand, which gave me strength also, like, you know, like, because, you know, like, being in the zone where we only like four brothers in Canada, you understand, like, it might guess, you understand, like, you understand, like a little bit, like, you understand, like, damn, man, like, why these other people, you know what I'm saying, not following? Why, you know what I'm saying, why everybody seeing what we're doing in Canada, and then, you know what I'm saying, they're doing their own thing? Why can't, you know what I'm saying, why our own people can't see the truth? You understand? Meanwhile, you understand, like, you know what I'm saying, this is what I want to say, like, even though, you understand, the brothers and sisters, you understand, in Canada, don't act like they don't see it. There's other people that seeing you, man. You understand? There's other people that seeing the work that we're doing, man, and that appreciate the work that we're doing, that understand exactly, you know what I'm saying, that is needed to be done. I understand Canada never sent a black militant group like this. You understand? So I understand, like, you understand, like, white Canadian, you know what I'm saying, like, our brothers and sisters in Canada, they don't automatically, you know what I'm saying, come and follow us, even though they know we're telling the truth. They know what we're saying is true. They know that we're standing for the people. They don't come and follow us and do, you know what I'm saying, like, follow Commanding General YAHANNA and doing what's necessary to be done for the people, you understand? Why? Because we never had a group like this. We never had like a militant group like this. Black man, you understand, that's standing for the people, you understand, with knowledge, with this, you understand. You have voodoo, you have, you understand, like, whatever, you understand, black Muslim and whatnot, but they don't stand for the people, man. You understand? They don't stand, you understand, for righteousness. They don't stand, you understand, like we do, you understand, standing in the face of the so-called oppressor, telling them he's the devil, you understand, and let my people go. You understand? But other people outside, they see that, you understand, they see the, you understand, the work that we're doing, even though, you understand, we're not in headquarters, even though with the little that we have, we make it, you understand, we turn it into gold, man. So, you understand, this is the little motivation I wanted to bring you and everybody that's watching, you understand, all the brothers, you understand, this, you understand, even though, you understand, we're doing this in Canada, we only 4 brothers, there's other people that's seeing us out there, man, and they appreciate what we're doing for the Most High, man.
Hey, Salakia Adiyar, 4 just might be enough. 4 just might be enough, man. Like, sometimes, like, let them other groups have them big numbers if that's what's up. 4 just might be enough. We might be small, but we're very, Salakia, we're huge, Salakia. Right? So, Adiyar, I got a class today. The Christians aren't going to like this because the Christians don't believe they can be perfect. Right? And you can be perfect in the law. You can be perfect according to the Most High and in the eyes of our Father, right? And a lot of Christians aren't gonna like that, but we're gonna break it down how God's law is perfect for us, and we can be perfect, right? Hey, I see you, Salakia.
Because Salaka Priest, I just wanted to act, bring those words. Salaka Priest, I just wanted to bring those words of motivation. I got a jet out of here, you understand? So
yeah, no sweat.
Priest.
Hey, Shalom, Maria. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. All right, let's get to it. I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja. We rocking out on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, on the app formerly known as Twitter X, right? Salakia. Yeah, that Elon Musk is a true devil. He wants you to be sending tweets on X. Good night. Listen, he is a devil. But we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna start off with Baruch 4:1. This is a law class. We're gonna be going into the law. Right, we got the Apocrypha right here. You might not be able to see this. Everyone should have them on Apocrypha, right? You could find it in the Bible in a 1611, right? You could find the Apocrypha. It would be right around this much of the Bible, right? It's actually in the Bible. Christians don't want to hear that, but we're going to be breaking it down, right? So I'm going into the Apocrypha in the book of Baruch. I like to start all my law classes with this verse, because it is a commandment. It's not a commandment, but it breaks down what these commandments are, right? So we got the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, right? So listen, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and you live in the land where your forefathers did their captivity, or your forefathers had a land and some Caucasians came off the boats and oppressed the hell out of them, listen, look what they're doing to my brothers and sisters in Haiti. Soon they're about to have some Hamite, some Kenyan Hamite from Africa. He's going to come and be judging the children of Levi. Good night. And that is going to be a terrible time, right? That is going to be a horrible time for our brothers and sisters. Soon that's going to happen. You should already understand that you live a horrible life right now. Your life is horrible. It's a life that you are being oppressed every second, right? You are being oppressed every second, and your oppressors have no ease. They don't ease up at all, right? They like to grind the children of God into mold, into mush. We're at the bottom of the grinder in this melting pot. You know, like you ever cook rice? I'm gonna give you the perfect analogy for Black, Hispanic, and Native American life. You ever cook rice in a pot? The rice that everyone wants to eat is at the top of the pot, and the stuff at the bottom is stuck to the pot at the end of the night. It's stuck to the pot, and you don't even want to eat it, right? If you're Caribbean, if you're Jamaican, they call that the bun, right? You don't want to eat that stuff, right? Listen, because I'm a Benjamite, meaning my people did their slavery in Jamaica. We've become accustomed to eating that rice. And Caribbean folks might tell you, yeah, it's the best part. It's not. Don't let them lie to you. That is not the best part of the rice. That is our life, right? Our life is like the rice that's at the bottom of the pot, right? And we were given a book of commandments, a set of things and rules, a constitution, a way to govern ourselves, right? And when you use that book to govern yourself, you're going to have a better life, right? You're going to have the Lord on your side. When you don't govern yourself by that book, by this book, by the words and the commandments and the ordinance of the Most High, our life is horrible. Our life expectancy for our brothers, who, like anybody in the chat, what do you think the life expectancy for brothers is, right? Or what's the youngest you've seen our brothers being unalived? You see our brothers being, listen, I'm about in my mid-30s right now, and I still go around in the neighborhood I grew up in because someone has to talk to these youth. Someone has to try and save them. The Christian pastor is not doing it. The Christian pastor is being swallowed up. Salakia. And when he's not doing that, he's committing adultery and telling people they can eat all the pork and sin all they want. right? So I go into my neighborhood and they'll look at me and say, listen, you're old. I'm like, I'm 30, I'm in my mid-30s. How am I old? Like, this is young. And then I had to come to realize they think I'm old because we die at 21. Some of us don't. One of my brothers, his son passed away, and I don't think he was 19. And my brother was incarcerated, right? One of my brothers, this is not my blood brother, but he's a brother I grew up with. And he was incarcerated, and his son passed away at an early age. And it was horrible. It's a sad thing. We watched his family break down, right? And that's because they think that, again, we think that at my age, I would be old because our sons are dying. Our sons are dying at such a young age, and it's a horrible thing. But we have a book of commandments that we're supposed to live by. And when we live by them, our life just gets relatively better, right? Now, listen, you still might go through trials and tribulations, but our lives get better, right? So let's continue reading. And the law that endureth forever, right? This is the law that endureth forever. What did you say? Yeah, no one cares about your grandma. Neff, no one cares about your grandma. Your grandma's probably going to drop dead soon. Salakia. Right? Listen, the Lord is going to wink at our ignorance. You think because listen, I got a so-called Mexican, probably a $5 Mexican. It's probably really a Spaniard, right? That's claiming to be Mexican. Say his grandma's 108 and she eats nasty tapeworm pork. Right? She eats something that Robert Picton was feeding prostitutes to. Right? There was a devil in the name of in Canada. He was out in the West Coast. Salaki, it's in my jacket, in my wallet. There was a devil out in Canada, right? Robert Picton. Neff, you should Google Robert Picton. He was a devil in Canada, in British Columbia. He was unaliving ladies who sell sex. And he was a pig farmer. He was unaliving. They say he unalived about 40 women. Neff. He unalived 40 women and fed them to his pigs. Your grandma probably ate one of those pigs that were eating dead prostitutes. Salakia, Neff. Your grandma wants to eat pigs that eat dead prostitutes. That's on her. In this house, in the I.S.U.P.K, we keep the laws of God. We are not going to eat pork. Right? So let's get back to it. All they that keep it shall come to life. And Neff's grandmother eats pork and she doesn't have a life. She is spiritually dead. Right? She is spiritually unalive. That's what happens when you eat pork. You are spiritually unalive. Can you imagine eating an animal that eats dead carcasses? A pig eats maggots out of a dead body. Right? I don't eat pork, Neff. In the I.S.U.P.K, we don't eat pork. It's disgusting. If you leave a rotten pig in a pig pen, the other pigs will eat it. And then somebody's going to feed it to your grandmother. But hey, that's what you like. That's what you want. That's what your grandmother wants. Right? Some Catholic priest who did horrible things to so-called Mexican children, right, is telling your grandmother it's okay to eat pork. I'll definitely be all right, Neff. We'll be all right in the I.S.U.P.K because we keep the laws of the Lord, right? And that's what we're going to be getting into today, keeping the laws of God and how it's perfect for us. God's laws are perfect. Eating pork is something that's not perfect, right? Good night. I could only imagine the hygiene. You ever smell somebody that eats pork? They don't smell too right. Right? They don't smell too right. You see them sweat. You smell the pork coming out of their sweat. It's really disgusting. Good night. Neff, I hope Christ comes back and I don't have to make it to 100 in this captivity. I would rather Christ come back and this kingdom fall, and no more Mexicans get to eat pork. That's what I pray for. While you're praying for all the pork that you can stuff your face with, that your grandmother could stuff your face with, you should listen to this class, Neff, jot down the notes, and teach your grandmother not to eat pork. That's what you should do. I pray that Christ comes back and this kingdom falls, so I don't have to live to see 100 in this kingdom, right? I would like to see 100 in Christ's kingdom, right? So let's get back into it. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Now, TikTok, I'm just reading the Bible, right? These are the words that are in the Bible, right? If you got any questions, you could definitely put them in the chat, and we'll get to answering them if we have the answer, right? If not, we'll just tell you to check back in next week or on Saturday night, and we'll have the answers for you. Right. But again, this book that we're reading, it's a book that brings us to life. You see so many of our brothers and sisters that are just spiritually dead. They don't have a spirit. They celebrate everything that their oppressor tells them to celebrate. They stuff their face with everything the oppressor tells them they can stuff their face with. Right? All that pork eating is why Mexico is in the shape that it's in. It's why our brothers and sisters are running from their lands, because the Lord is not with the nasty eating of pork. Listen, there's in this book right here that I'm reading, this Apocrypha, you go into the story of the Maccabees, there were 7 brothers who, rather than eat disgusting pork that would eat a dead body, rather than eat the pork that Robert Picton from Canada used to get rid of the unalived bodies of sex workers, ladies of the night. Robert Picton was feeding his pigs. He's a cattle farmer. He was doing this for a decade plus, feeding his pigs unalived bodies of ladies of the night. I feel, listen, y'all can eat that bacon if you want. I'm going to eat the beef bacon. Beef bacon is better than pork bacon, right? And all the health effects, the unhealthy side effects that comes from eating pork, right? Listen, I'm about to get into it real quick. Just for Neff, right? Just for Guerrero. Hold up. Let me get to it. Where are we going? We got Leviticus. Let's get to Leviticus, the 11th chapter. Let's get to Leviticus, the 11th chapter, right? This is the Leviticus 11:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak to the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth, right? And he's going to give a description of the beasts that we can eat. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud. So that's like, listen, that's like your deer, I'll just give you a short list. The deer, the lamb, the goat, some curry goat, right? And Benjamin sisters could hook up a curry goat, right? What else? The ox. Let's jump down. Nevertheless, verse 4, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divideth the hoof as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you, right? So we're going to go down, jump down to verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, Neff, you should teach this to your grandmother, right? It sucks that at 108, she doesn't have wisdom, right? We see our people at a old age without wisdom, just living a life of sin, and we don't blame them. It's the Christian church's fault. It's that Catholic priest's fault, that disgusting Catholic priest. That's whose fault it is. Where are we? Though he divideth the hoof and be cloven-footed, yea, he cheweth not the cud and is unclean to you. Now, you should teach that to your grandmother, right? At 108, she just might get the spirit of the Lord, right? If you are actually a Mexican, a so-called Issacharite, Yashakar in the Bible, in the Hebrew, right? The so-called Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar of the lost 12 tribes of Israel. Let's keep reading. Verse 8. This is Leviticus 11, verse 8. Of their flesh, right? Meaning their carcass. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Right? That's what you have to know. The pig is an unclean, filthy beast. If you put a unalive body of a sex worker in front of it, the pig is going to eat it. Then they're going to chop that pig up, package it, and sell it to you and tell you this is good food when it's not. It's horrible. Right? I've got some trolls. The trolls are out tonight. Let's see what's happening with these trolls. Good night. Yeah, the trolls are definitely out tonight. The trolls are definitely out tonight. I got someone asking, "Where's the sunglasses?" Like, I don't have to wear sunglasses. You must be a fan of my brother Barak Allah. Give Barak Allah sunglasses a hand. They in the class asking for Barak Allah's sunglasses. Good night. I'm gonna have to let Barak Allah know. Right. All right. So let's get back into these precepts. We're talking about the law and how it's good for you and how you can be perfect while keeping the law. Right. The law, God's law is definitely perfect for us. Right. Some people say you can make it to a long age. Listen, I know some crack smokers, right? Salakia, TikTok. I know some people who smoke dope who've lived to a long age too, but you wouldn't tell them smoking dope is a good thing, right? You can live to a long age eating pork, just maybe, but that's still not a good thing. It's still not something that the Lord is pleased with. The Most High winks at our ignorance, right? At our ignorance, he winks, Salakia. All right, we're back. Let's get back to it. I want to get into my first precept. I got Deuteronomy, what is it? 4 and 6. Right? We're going to be getting into wisdom, the Most High's laws, and how it's perfect for us. So, okay, Jack Hughes Hardy, you're asking if Gentiles can be saved. I'm going to answer your question on if Gentiles can be saved, right? Now, when we go into let's give you the definition of a Gentile, right? Because, okay, when you're saying Gentiles, I just wanted to be clear. Are you talking about Caucasians? Right? Is that who you're talking about, Caucasians? Salaki, this phone might die. I need a proper phone. Huh? What are you doing? Yeah, it's probably going to be too loud. Give me a moment. Jack, give me a moment, Jack. I'm going to give you the definition of Gentiles. But if you could, can you tell me what you mean by Gentiles? Right? That's what I want to know. What do you mean by Gentiles? Right? If you could answer that question, and then I'm going to give you the definition of Gentiles. When you answer that question for me, I will definitely give you the answer. Right? So let's get into it real quick. I had a verse that I wanted to read. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Bear with me a moment. Can you pass that charger, Baba Kasha? Right. Hold up. Bear with me a moment. We are rocking out. It is a Wednesday night. Perfect for the law. Perfect for a law class. Wednesday night, you're going to find out you cannot sin. You don't have to sin. You don't have to be like the preachers who don't know the Bible. You don't have to be like the men and women who only want to love their oppressors. Right? So I got Deuteronomy 4, verse 6. Salaki, I got Deuteronomy 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. Right? The Lord is telling us he's taught us these things. He's taught us the law, statutes, and judgments. Right? Meaning things we're supposed to do and things that are going to happen if we don't do the things that he wants us to do. For instance, if you eat pork, you are unclean. Right? If you eat pork, you're unclean. It's an unclean beast. Right? Those are statutes and judgments, right? A judgment might be the Lord might unalive you eventually. You might get diabetes because of all the disgusting Salakia, what are we gonna say? Just pork is unclean. It makes your body unclean. It breaks down your body slowly. You might get some tapeworms, right? You might get some tapeworms. If you unalive somebody, you unalive your brother, right? The Lord said, thou shalt not kill. You unalive your brother, you are going to be, back in the day, the priest would unalive you, right? If you stole, you would have to pay back 7 times. The Lord taught us statutes and judgments, right? Even as the Lord my God commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it, right? So there's going to be a land that we're going to go to possess, right? Joshua would have been a so-called Puerto Rican, right? Joshua would have been a so-called Puerto Rican, and Caleb a so-called Negro. They walked us into the land after Moses passed. They walked us into that land so we can go possess it. No, I'm not currently teaching at a school. We will, Lord allow, more brothers and sisters come into the school in Toronto. We will definitely be, with the Lord's blessing, be having a physical building, right? This is just a picture in the background of my captains, right? You got Captain Kataza, Captain Gadal, Captain Kwamwa, and Captain Yadi, right? All different brothers from different. Listen, you got the East Coast, the West Coast, and the South in that picture. And they're under commanding General YAHANNA. These men came together for brotherhood and are raising brothers and sisters and fixing our nation and fixing our neighborhoods, right? Captain Yadi, he led a group of men into level 4 cartel country, right? If you're watching and you're looking at this screen, it would be the brother in the all black on the left-hand side under the banner that says UPK if you're on TikTok, right? He led a group of men, a large number of men, into level 4 cartel country in Mexico to feed Haitian migrants when the Christian church would not do that, right? I was waiting. Let's see, one second. I was waiting for Jack to let me know what he meant by Gentiles, but he didn't do that. So I'm just going to give you the definition for Gentiles, right? Now, some of you might not know this because your pastor lied to you. Israelites were also called Gentiles. Christ said salvation is of the Jews. He didn't say it's of the Caucasians. Listen, if you think, I got you. Good night. A brother is trying to teach on our platform. I said I already answered the question. Good night. Like, what is wrong with you? If you want to teach, just go get your own followers, your own live. There's nothing wrong with asking questions and typing in the comments, but I'm about to say something and you're saying you already answered the question. Good. Answer the question from the metaverse. You are in the metaverse gulag now. That is horrible. That is unbrotherly. So I'm going to give you the definition for Gentiles, right? It's Hebrew, goy, plural, translated Gentiles in the KJV of the Old Testament 30 times, people 11 times, heathen 142 times, nation, right? There is no race called the Gentiles. It's a slang word that Israelites would call heathens or call Israelites who act like heathens. Nations being the usual translation. Sometimes goy or goyim refers to Israel, right? So if you're asking about the Gentiles of Israel, meaning brothers and sisters who have gone after other gods, like brothers and sisters who celebrate Christmas, celebrate their birthday, eat pork like Neff's grandmother, right? They would be considered Gentiles. If you missed a circumcision on the 8th day, your parents, just listen, your parents were traveling to the priest and they missed a day. That son would be not counted as Israel. He would have became a Gentile, right? Christ came back for those brothers and sisters who are considered Gentiles, right? He didn't come back for the land of Edom. He didn't come back for Moab, the so-called Asian. Edom, who is a so-called Caucasian, right? That's not who he came back for. All right, I want to continue reading and get back into our topic. So again, if you're asking if Gentiles can be saved, right? Israelites who are considered Gentiles will be saved. Right? But that doesn't mean like the Christian church, you go to church and smack a tambourine and then you're just saved. No, you got to put in some work for your people, right? There might be a time when you come back, when Christ comes back, and if you're still alive at this time and you try to run up to Christ, he might tell you, I never knew you. All right, so let's get back into what we were reading. Where were we? Again, Caleb and Joshua and Caleb, a so-called Puerto Rican and a so-called Negro, walked us into the kingdom, right? They brought us into the kingdom. Gloria said, I never heard pastors or leaders mention the races of our fellow ancestors or brothers, right? The so-called pastors and leaders of our nation, they're hoes. For lack of better words, they're hoes. They're punks. They're not going to mention the race of the people of our nation because they want everybody's money. They just don't want, like think about a Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was sleeping with Edomite women, Caucasian women. They called him Orgy Mike. They got when they were doing their Watergate scandals, and tapping everybody's phone. Y'all think tapping phone lines is something new? They've been tapping phone lines, right? They've been surveilling brothers and sisters. They're probably watching me right now, right? And that's why I don't commit crime, right? What'd you say? Okay, you could definitely find you could definitely use the scriptures to find out who the Israelites are, right? That might be something that we have to break down in a later class, right? The prophecies that Jacob gave his 12 sons to let us know who they would be today, right? Like, okay, one of them is Benjamin is like a raven wolf, right? And when you look at the so-called Caribbean, like the so-called Jamaican, the so-called Trinidadian, right? You look at them, they are like a wolf. We are like a wolf. That's why we are the tribe of Benjamin. All we do is work, and we work 10 jobs to take care of our family, right? If I'm not mistaken, that might be in Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, but I would have to get it for you. Let's get back onto subject. Edomite women are Caucasians. Okay, nothing. Just because you read something doesn't mean you're going to know, right? I have a comment that says, if we are good readers, we can pretty much know. Yeah, just because you read something, like, there are good readers, people who can read at excellent levels, but they still don't understand the Bible. What happens is a man of the Lord has to teach us, right? That's how I'm able to teach class today, because I had to go to a man of the Lord to understand this Bible, right? Aside from that, it's just words in a book, right? Again, you have people who say things like, it's not what you put in your mouth that makes you unclean. They don't understand what that is talking about, right? Now, there still are unclean foods, but to them, they think that they could go and eat a dog, right? And a lot of times they say, it's not what you put in your mouth that makes you unclean. And then you ask them, will you eat a cat? And they'll say no. Well, I thought it's not what you put in your mouth makes you unclean, right? So it's not just about reading. You have to go to a man of the Lord to understand this Bible. All right, so I want to get more into what we're reading. Salakia. So Deuteronomy 4, 4 and 5 again. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me. This is Moses talking to us, right? That ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it, right? There's going to be laws that we were given to possess, right? Gloria, what kind of relationship do you have with the Father, right? Now, I'm just asking the question just to see where your mind's at. When you say relationship with our Father in heaven, can you explain to me what you mean, right? A lot of times I hear, especially women say this, especially sisters, right? They'll say they have a relationship with God, or they'll say something like Christ is their husband. A lot of times when you look at the situation for what it is, they chase the real husband out of the house, and now they're married to Christ, and Christ don't know them. Christ doesn't commit adultery, so he's not going to take a wife from a man. He's not going to be with a woman that already has a man, or a woman that kicked a man out the house. Christ actually said not to divorce, that we cannot leave our relationships. We cannot sleep with another person, meaning a sister cannot sleep with another man as she's already sleeping with a man, and a man cannot leave a sister that he's sleeping with, meaning he married her, right, outside of her committing adultery. Flyman, Shalom. Shalom. What's going on, Flyman? Right. So let's get back into this. Right now, Joshua and Caleb walked us into our land. Right. This is a book that we have. It's our constitution, just like Canada has a Bill of Rights, right? Or Charter Rights, what they would like to call it. Americans would say their constitution. These scriptures are the constitution for the Black, Hispanic, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. These scriptures are our constitution, right? It's our code of ethics. It's our way of life, our culture. It's what's supposed to keep our family members from being unalived at a very young age. Right? It's what helps two brothers, instead of shedding blood, they can go to counsel with wise men and get a judgment after they break down their problems, and get a judgment and then keep the brotherhood flowing. Right? Like, for example, everyone watched that Cat Williams interview, right? It was entertaining. Cat Williams is a funny brother. He'll make you laugh, right? Even when he's not trying to, he'll make you laugh. He had an issue with Cedric the Entertainer, with Ricky Smiley, with damn near a long list of brothers. And he decided to go on the internet and throw a black man under the bus, because that is the most entertaining thing on earth, is two black men fighting. Right? You see a so-called Mexican and a black man in the ring slugging it out. Like, they're in the ring trying to take each other's heads off. And you look around that arena, in that boxing arena in Las Vegas, and you see a sea of Caucasian people. It's because it's entertaining to them. Our destruction is entertaining to the heathens. Right? You read Psalms 83, and it tells you that these heathens were confederate against us, confederate against the Most High. They came together to destroy us. Verse 6, therefore, do them, for this is your wisdom. Right? We have wisdom. When you keep the commandments, you gain wisdom. Listen, do you know how many brothers are sitting in jail right now, thinking to themselves, if they only did this and that, right? If they only made the right choices. Good night. I think my phone is about to die. Listen, TikTok, it's more than likely that my phone is about to die. Salakia. Right? Lord allow we get some more time out of this phone. Right? These chargers are definitely finicky. Lord allow we get some more time out this phone. But aside from that, we are also on YouTube. We're also on Facebook at I.S.U.P.K Toronto, and we're streaming on the app formerly known as Twitter. Okay. For this is your wisdom, meaning this is our knowledge. This is something that's good for us. Right? One second. Let's see if I can turn this down. Can I turn it down? Maybe I could turn it down and it works out. Right? For this is your wisdom and your understanding. Right? Meaning this is what we're supposed to understand. This is what keeping these laws is a wise thing to do. You want to be wise, you should keep these laws. Listen, Twitter, we're probably going to jump back in. Or Slack, Twitter. TikTok, we're probably going to jump back in, let my phone charge up a little, and I'll probably jump back in with you. But again, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're also on Twitter, I.S.U.P.K Toronto. Shalom.
Only a genius can solve this because I'm struggling.
That was not the words of a genius. All right, so we're back at it. Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear, Salakia, meaning where the nations are going to look at us for keeping these laws and say, this is a wise people, right? You seen what happened to Moab? Y'all don't remember a couple years ago what happened to Moab? Moab was walking down the street in single formats, shoulder to shoulder, right? Shoulder to shoulder with futuristic what do they call them? Disinfectant machines. That's what Moab was doing. Moab was going down the street, disinfecting the street because they didn't understand you cannot eat bat. You cannot eat bat. And then there was a plague. The Lord plagued the earth for about 2 years. According to the Bible, the Lord plagued the earth for about 2 years because Moab had no wisdom. You see what happened to there's a certain community, the alternative lifestyle community. You see what happened to them, when was it, last summer? The summer that just passed? They were talking about they cannot sit down properly. It hurts when they sit down, right? Or listen, we seen a man's nose damn near decaying. On his face, his nose was decaying. It was a horrible sight to watch. Yeah. Let's see if this one gives it a little more. Let's see if this one gives it a little more juice. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, meaning the heathens are going to look at us and say, this is a wise people, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Right, that's what's going to happen. They're going to say we're wise and understanding. We're wise because we understand if the Lord, Salakia, if the Lord is not with us, he's going to unalive us. He's going to put us into captivity. Right, and now you see that nation's waking right back up. That nation is waking right back up. Right, surely this great nation is wise and understanding people. Right, a lot of times you see people say things like, how are you reading this Caucasian's book, this oppressor's book? Oh, man, and it's such a horrible thing. They like especially when it comes to blackity black, you'll see people who jump in these comments and they'll be like, how are you reading the Bible? It's a Caucasian man's book, when the Bible has nothing to do with Caucasians, meaning the chosen nation in the Bible is not constructed by Caucasians. Right, what you find out is the chosen nation in this book that we're reading is so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. One man had 4 women and had 12 men. Those 4 women gave birth to 12 men, 12 boys who grew up to be men, and they became the nation of Israel. Right, and when we keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, we become a wise and understanding people. Or are we? Right, so you see so-called black folks talk about, how are you reading that book? It's a book for Caucasian people by Caucasian people. Right, and then they'll say some stuff like, well, they use that book to oppress us. Listen, they use firearms to oppress us too. Does that mean you should not go get a firearm to protect your family? Right? So where are we? And then the next thing is like, okay, these so-called blackity blacks, these so-called leaders who say things like that, you have to understand they're going to tell you that the book is Caucasian. It's for and by Caucasian folks. What they're not going to tell you is they celebrate every Caucasian holiday that they're told to. Salakia. That's what they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you that they're outside celebrating Canada Day, Queen Victoria Day. They're not going to tell you that they're outside trying to get drunk as a skunk. That's an old one. Drunk as a skunk, right? On St. Patrick's Day. They want to live like Caucasian men and take the Caucasians' women. But this book is for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But according to the so-called Black leaders, they're going to say, no, it's not. Right? Hold up. Or are we? Listen, okay, there's also nations that don't have understanding at all. There's nations that don't have understanding at all. Them Egyptians, they didn't have understanding. They didn't have no understanding. You ever hear that conscious community talk? That conscious community talk. They said Newt, or I don't know what his name is, Net, or some Egyptian god, right? Some conscious community god put a dome over the earth. That's what they say. They say, and to do that, he created what else do they say? They say the dome over the earth. Then they say stuff like that conscious community, they worship, what is it, Netter? They worship Netters. That's what they call their gods. This is Hamite culture, right? Now, if you have wisdom, you'll understand that the Hamites were Sodom and Gomorrah. They were their first recorded LGBT community, Hamites, so-called Africans, according to the Bible. Right? They said the Netter put his own seed in his mouth. Right? They're talking about semen. Put his own semen in his mouth and spit it out to create life. And whenever Captain Tazariak presses them on that, they say, no, it was allegory. It's not real. It's mythological. And then you have to ask yourself, so a mythological creation, but this God that y'all are celebrating had to put his own yuck in his mouth and then spit it out to create life? Now who actually believes that junk? Well, there are people who believe that. They don't have any understanding. Where are we? Are we? Let's get back to it. Let's see if I can get back on this thing. Let's see if I can get back on this thing. Bear with me a moment. All right, so we're right back at it. Again, these nations, they don't have an understanding. They don't have a basic understanding. Look at the Kemet, the people who worship African spiritualism, right? Their God put his own seed in his mouth and spit it out, and that's how they created life. That sounds like an LGBTQ creation story, if you ask me. Which makes perfect sense for them Hamites, because Sodom and Gomorrah was a bunch of Hamites. Right? Let's just keep going. Where were we? Okay, so we read Deuteronomy 4, verse 6, and we found out that keeping the law is our wisdom. When we do that, the heathen nations are going to tell us that we are a great people of understanding. We have excellent understanding, right? Because we kept the law of God. There was a group of heathen that didn't do that, man. Again, they ate bats, and the earth was plagued for about 2 years. You could not go outside. Y'all forgot when they had the super sanitizing machines in the land of Moab. Let's add my brother to the stage. All right, I guess Brock will come up when he's ready. Right? They added. So like I'm saying added. The land of Moab, they were eating winged rats. Right? That's what I call them. Those bats, they were eating winged rats, and they had the earth in a plague for 2 years. It was a horrible time. You had to line up outside of Walmart, right? Hour-long lines. They wanted you to be 6 feet apart. They didn't understand how to get rid of it. They were trying everything to get rid of it. And now you don't even hear about COVID no more. You don't even hear about the plagues no more. But again, this book that we're reading is for understanding. It's going to give us understanding, right? So I'm going to get 2 Samuel 2. So I get wrong book. I'm going to get 2 Samuel 2, 22. 2 Samuel 22. Second Samuel 22 and 31, right? Because this book speaks about us being perfect. Now the Lord's laws is definitely perfect for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So we got 2 Samuel 2 and 31. As for God, right? As for the Lord, as for our Creator, right? As for the man who is a man of war, the heathens called him a terrible God. As for that God, right? His way is perfect. The Lord's ways are perfect. Like many people try to understand the Lord, and when they okay, now here's the crazy part. They'll try to understand the Lord when everything's going bad. Right? Right when everything's going bad, that's when they're going to try and understand the Lord. They're going to be like, listen, it's going bad now. Now I need to understand the Most High. I need to get right with the Lord right when everything's going bad. Right? Let's keep reading. As for God, his ways is perfect. The Lord's ways is perfect. You don't question why the Lord moves the way he moves. His ways are perfect. Right? And you can be perfect too. Right. Hey, if you're watching these lives, man, share these lives, tap the screen, share them, invite people in so this word can get out. Right. If you're looking for a way to fix your neighborhood, you're in the right place. you are definitely in the right place. If you're looking for a way to fix your neighborhood, a way to fix your family, keep your relationship long and loving and lasting, you are in the right place. Right? You are right where you should be at the time, which is here with me. You listen, I could be anywhere else in the world, but I'm here with you. Right? So again, if you found this class, tap that like screen and share it. Invite your family, friends to watch these classes. They're definitely educational. Right? And that's what we're doing it for the betterment of our people, for the knowledge that comes with this book of commandments, this book of feast days and holidays and things that we're supposed to do. Salakia. Let's continue reading. Where were we? This is 1 Samuel 22 and 31. As for God, his ways is perfect. The words of the Lord is tried. Meaning, listen, these words have been tested, right? These words are for us, right? It's been tried. He is a buckler to all of them that trust in him. Meaning, when you trust in the Most High, you don't have to worry. The people that don't trust in the Most High, they are worrisome. They're always wondering what's going to happen next because they don't believe that the Most High is going to take care of them. But let one of their family members or themselves have to go into the hospital. That's when they start praying. That's when they start talking about Jesus, save me, and I'm saved. Right? Where are we? He is a buckler to all of them that trusteth in him. You're supposed to trust in the Lord. Don't worry about. Listen, don't worry about. You don't really have to worry about much when the Lord's on your side. When the Lord's on your side, nothing even matters anymore. Meaning, now that doesn't mean stop paying your bills, stop calling family or your friends and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that. Unless your family's telling you to sin. Your family's telling you to sin. Just get rid of your family and get a new family. Right? And you can get a new family in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Salakia. Where were we? He is a buckler to all of them that trusteth in him. You have to trust in the Lord. Right? That's what you want to do. You don't want to worry. Right? His ways are perfect. You cannot understand his ways, but the Lord's ways are perfect. So let's continue. Where are we? All right, I'm going to go to Psalms 19 and 7. Right? Psalms 19 and 7. Because we understand that, listen, what it says about the law being perfect, you could find that in other places as well. Right? Your pastor, you got to ask yourself, why is your pastor, if your pastor is supposed to know these verses, why is he telling you not to keep the law? If the Most High's law is perfect. Do you know what perfect is? Perfect is 100% of something. Right? It means every answer is the right answer. That's what you get with this book of the Bible. Every answer is the right answer. You're not going to get a wrong answer. Let's keep going. One second. All right, so I'm going to give you Psalms 19. Psalms 19, verse 7. Where are we? Psalms 19 verse 7, right? I'm going to give you these breakdowns real quick. These are going to help you understand that you have to keep the law. It's a good thing to keep the law. You don't want to not keep the law, right? You see Martin Luther King not keep the law. Martin Luther King was telling people he wants his children to be with the children who are oppressing his people. And when he decided to realize that what he was doing and saying was wrong to the children of Israel, it was already too late. He was shortly after that unalived. And they turned where he was unalived into a casino. Not a casino, a museum. That might as well be a casino. They are making a martyr out of him, right? And that's the old COINTELPRO, where they take someone that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are looking up to, and they try to make him bow down to their gods, right? This is what they did to Mattathias, right? Just surrounding the time of the Feast of Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication, when we are rededicating the temple, right? They tried to get Mattathias to eat pork, and he would not. They hunted down people. They hunted down our family and our friends, trying to get them to eat pork. 7 brothers were unalived because they refused to eat pork. Let's keep going. Where are we? This is Psalms. Slovakia. This is Psalms 19 and 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. Let's continue reading. I was just looking at something. Where are we? Psalms 19 and 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. Your pastor is not telling you it's perfect. Understanding that you cannot sleep with a sister and throw away is perfect. Understanding that you sisters can't get with a brother and leave him because he makes you angry is perfect. It's how to perfectly teach your sons and daughters how to keep a relationship. A lot of y'all, your relationships are failing and terrible. A lot of y'all sisters are terrible wives. You brothers are terrible husbands. Y'all don't have no compassion on each other. Y'all don't show love to each other at all. It's like you're only there to tear fire. And then after that, it's just, okay, I guess we're together, right? The laws of God are perfect. Not eating pork is perfect, right? Not eating pork is perfect. Let's get back to it. Psalms 19 and 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. What is it? Converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Right? We're not supposed to be having sex or sleeping with whores. Right? A brother is not supposed to be going to some sister and offering to buy her body. That's what you see all throughout the land of Israel. Right? Let's keep going. Of the Lord, the testimony of the Lord is short, making the wise the simple. Right? Understanding that if you sell dope, someone's going to unalive you. The Lord said, I suffer not a witch to live. That's what selling dope is. If you're selling dope, you're a witch. Right? You're a sorcerer. You're standing over that pot, whipping over that cauldron, whipping up a potion that's going to keep a brother trapped, a sister trapped. Right? The law is simple, and we got to keep it. Where are we? Let's go to Proverbs 28, verse 4. Proverbs 28, verse 4. All right, so we're going to find Proverbs 28, verse 4. Listen, you can be perfect. There's a precept that I'm going to pull before we leave out of here, right? Before we leave out of here, there's definitely a precept that I'm going to pull. Christ basically said we can be perfect, right? But for now, I'm going to go to Proverbs 28. Proverbs, the 28th chapter. Proverbs 28, what are we looking for? Verse 4. All right, Proverbs 28, verse 4. They that forsake the law. There's a group of people who listen, I was in the chat earlier. They said you could just eat pork. They say this man said his grandma's 108 and she's been eating pork, right? This verse is talking about him and his grandma. And it was like he was happy about that. Right. If I were you, I would not eat pork, man. Listen, there's so many missing sisters out there. And a pig will eat a rotting corpse. Maggots and pus and just decay. A pig will eat it, and you're going to eat that pork belly thinking it's amazing when it's totally disgusting. And the Most High hates it. He hates the smell of pork. The Most High wants to smell curry goat. He wants to smell lamb, roasted lamb with the spices. That's what the Most High wants to smell. He doesn't want to smell pig, right? The Most High wants to see you marry one sister and stay with her forever. Oh, man. Joshua, you must have just jumped in the live. And Joshua, what is your ethnicity? What's your ethnicity, Joshua? You're telling a lie. You should not lie on your brother, Joshua. If you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you should not lie on your brother. The whole time I've been talking about the old and the new. I've been talking about what Christ said. No less than maybe within the last 5 minutes, I said there's a precept that I got from Christ that I'm going to share. I'm going to read before we end this class, right? But again, here we are. There's always some Christian, right? Joshua, I'm not sure I believe that you are aware, because you came in here lying. And the Most High hates liars. Just to come into something and not be sure of what is being spoken of and just speaking is kind of Salakia for my language. BITCH made. You're just coming in here lying. Like, what are you talking about? You're saying, and who's Yeshua? I know Yahushai. I know Yahushai, the king of the Jews who's going to crack the sky, looking Wesley Snipes black. So where are we? Where were we? Slovakia. We're in Proverbs. We're looking for Proverbs 28, verse 4. They that forsake the law, right? Meaning there are people who forsake the law. They hate the law. When Israelites are on their platforms teaching the law and teaching brothers and sisters that we have to keep the law, right? So Joshua, do you believe that we have to keep the law? That's my question. Do you believe that we have to keep the law? Right? Let's see what Joshua says. Yeah, see, I knew it. Joshua is a pork eater. He eats pork. Joshua, Joshua, so are you saying you eat pork? Is that what you're saying? Good night. That is a horrible thing to this man says it's not what goes into you. Good night. Listen, these Christians, they love that pork. Well, Joshua, I don't eat pork. Zabadja hasn't eaten pork. I'm priest and officer 1000 Zabadja of the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA, and Zabadja has not eaten pork. So are you saying, Joshua, that you eat pork? Well, we'll see. They that forsake the law praise the wicked. Joshua, you seem like one of those men who praise the wicked, right? We keep the law here. We don't praise the wicked. You seem like one of the people who are going to, you got the pork chop on the table with you, right? You're eating it, talking about these Hebrew Israelites while you stuff your face with pork. That is a horrible life to live. You're stuffing your face with you probably eat shrimp, crab, and all the nasty things, all the things that get rid of dead carcasses. Joshua, have you heard of Robert Picton? Robert Picton was a pig farmer in British Columbia. You could just Google him. He was tried for unaliving 20 women who sell their bodies. They believe that he really unalived almost close to 40 and fed them to his pigs. Joshua, you might have eaten his pigs, Joshua. All that pork that you like, you might have eaten his pigs. Listen, I grew up poor too. I don't eat pork though. So some of us are poor right now, especially in the captivity that we're under right now. But that doesn't mean we have to eat pork. See, Joshua, you come across as a man that likes to make excuses. You come across as a man that makes excuses to sin. Right? You probably said something like, I had to sell dope to feed my daughter. Right? Listen, good night. It's a horrible thing to live like that. So let's go back into it. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Right? So we keep the law here, and now we have to contend with Joshua, because Joshua doesn't want to keep the law. He wants to jump in the live and talk about how we can eat pork. Well, Christ didn't eat pork, so we're not going to eat pork. Right? We keep the law. We are contending with the wicked, because the wicked, they don't want to keep the law ever. All they ever want to do is go after their lust and fill their gullet. They want to go after their lust and fill their gullet with disgusting animals. The Most High said you're not supposed to eat it. So we don't eat it. That's what we do. Got a few more precepts, and then I'm going to end this class. Right? We did start a little late. Next week, Wednesday, we'll start a little more on time. We got a scripture breakdown. You can check out on One West online classes or follow General Mahayaman, right? And you'll be able to join his scripture breakdown class. Let's keep reading. Where are we? Where are we going? Where are we gonna go? We're going to go to Matthew 5 and 18, right? Because a lot of times y'all say that, listen, again, we're going to show you that you're supposed to keep the law. We just told you that the ones that turn away their ear, hold up, I got something for you. We have to contend with them, right? So let's go to Matthew 5 and 18. Because they're wicked. They turn their ear away from the law because they're wicked. It's a wicked thing to tell the children of Israel that they don't have to keep the law no more. So let's go to Matthew 5 and 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. This is Christ speaking. Christ didn't come to destroy the law. What does destroy mean? Destroy means he didn't come to get rid of it. Right? He did not come to get rid of it at all. Or the prophets. Christ didn't come to break down the prophets. Whatever the prophets of old said, that's what Christ was following. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Now, who could tell me what fulfill means? What does it mean when Christ says he didn't come to destroy, but to fulfill the law? Who could tell us what it means? Right? Can someone in the chat tell us what it means? Christ said he didn't come to destroy. He came to fulfill it. Right? For time's sake, I'll give it to you. Fulfill means Christ came to tell us how to keep it, show us the spirit of it. Listen, Moses had the regime of death, meaning if you broke the law, you were put to death. Christ has the regime of life, meaning instead of putting you to death, Christ was given the authority to forgive you. So you could go and sin no more. It's like the woman that they caught in the midst of adultery, right? Christ told the people who wanted Christ to stone her, he without sin cast the first stone, and all of them, by the time Christ looked back up, he said, women, where are your accusers? They were gone. It cut them. Nick, no show. I am not Judah. I am Benjamin. Right? I come from the tribe of Benjamin. Right? Zabajah ban Yamyan ban Yashra'ala, meaning Zabajah, son of Benjamin, son of Israel. Let's read verse 18. Matthew 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one title shall in no wise pass from the law. All you got to do is go look outside. If you look outside, you'll see, look into the skies, the night skies. We're on the East Coast. It's damn near pitch black outside. You'll see the heavens. If you're in a rural area, you'll see a bunch of stars in the sky. You'll see the heavens. If you are in, or you could just look outside and look to the ground, you'll see the earth. Right? The earth is still here. So none of the words from the law have passed, meaning they are still standing right now. One jot or one title shall in no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. Listen, the law was going to be here because the earth is here. The earth was made for the children of Israel. The law is going to stay. Salakia, where are we? Verse 19. And this is a cut to all you Christians. For all you Christians who are saying you don't have to keep the law, this is a cut to you. This is Matthew 5 and 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and teach men how to do so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Right? If you're teaching men to break the commandments, you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven in the regeneration. Where are we? But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Meaning, if you are like the I.S.U.P.K, you're going to be called great in the kingdom of heaven. You got to teach the law. Listen, if you're not under Commander John YAHANNA didn't raise you up, I suggest you not try to teach the law. You're going to fail miserably at it, and you're going to be 10 times worse than how you are now, right? Where are we? Let's read that again. But whoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the. Again, so you got to teach the law. You got to keep the law. You got to tell your peoples to keep the law. If you're telling your peoples not to keep the law, right? Okay, so if you're, I'm gonna get to Gambit. I'm gonna get to your question. Give me one moment, Gambit. Give me one moment. As soon as I'm done with this precept, I'm gonna get to your question, right? But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Right? Meaning, if you teach your brothers and sisters to love one another, you're gonna be great. You want to be like the I.S.U.P.K, like the men in the I.S.U.P.K, right? Well, I'm teaching you that you can't eat pork. You got brothers and sisters coming into the chat, and again, I'm still out on. I'm not sure if half these people who say they're brothers and sisters on these social medias are actually brothers and sisters, right? It could just be Caucasians being the devil that the Bible speaks of. Salakia. The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. You want to be great in the kingdom of heaven? Teach your brothers and sisters to keep the law. Right? All right. So Gambit said, what happens if your mom is white and your dad is a Hebrew? Well, listen, back then, under the regime of death, you would not be in the congregation for 10 generations. Christ came to let you in if your dad is a Hebrew, meaning an Israelite, right? Okay, Edomites are Hebrews too. They come from Jacob. Oh, Salakia. Edomites are Hebrews too. They come from Isaac, right? Abraham was a Hebrew. Ishmael is a Hebrew. Edomites come from Isaac, right? But then there was a man named Jacob, who was also a Hebrew, and he wrestled an angel for a blessing, because a blessing from the Most High is such a wonderful thing. You keep the law, and you're going to get a blessing from the Most High. It's nigh on to winning the lottery. In the States, they call it the Powerball. In Canada, they call it the Lotto Max. You win 50 mil on the Lotto Max, it doesn't compare to a blessing from the Most High. You win that 400 million Powerball in the United States, that don't care. That don't compare to a blessing from the Most High. You know who had millions? Y'all ever heard of a rapper named Eazy-E? He had millions. He passed away with the monster. The monster had him pass away, right? Meaning HIV/AIDS. And he had millions. Millions is not going to do it for you. Where are we? We're done with that precept. All right, so we were done with that Matthew. Gambit, I'm going to get you right. Where is Numbers 18? Or is it Numbers 1 and 18? I always get it confused if it's not 18 and 1, but I think it's 1 and 18. All right, so I'm gonna teach you what happens if your father is a Israelite and he made a mistake because of some Christian pastor telling him he could love his oppressor. Right? Salakia. Numbers 1 and 18, and they assembled all the congregation together. Right? This is when they're being numbered. Salakia. This is not when they're being numbered. This is when this is in the book of Numbers. The congregation is gathering together and they're going to state their registry, right? And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. and they declared their pedigrees. Their pedigrees is their lineage, right? It's like you have a pit bull. You want to understand what kind of dog this is. Is it a dog that has been interbreeded? Is it going to go kind of crazy? Does it come from a good stock? And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. So they're basically announcing the house that they belong to by the house of their fathers. So they declared their pedigree after their family by the house of their fathers. So Gambit, what I'm telling you is you are the seed of your father. You're asked, what happens if your mom is white and your dad is a Hebrew? Assuming he's an Israelite, you are the seed of your father. The spirit of your father's people is going to be in you. Unlike a Bob Marley. You had Prince Harry and Meghan Markle talk about they made a surprise visit to Jamaica for the Bob Marley opening. I wonder if they went to the ghetto. Did they go to 9 Mile Bull Bay, to the ghetto, where the fences are made of zinc? Did they go there? That's my question. They probably didn't go there. Isaac, I'm not sure who you called. But you could go on isupk.com and you can get the numbers to the schools in your zone. Isaac, who did you call? Right, you're saying you called yesterday. I just want to know who you called, right? If you let me know the city, we could possibly get you the number for that city and get you right. Where are we? Numbers 18. By the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their poll. Right. Again, you keep the law, you're going to understand that you are the seed of your father. And in keeping the law, you'll never make the mistake of sleeping with a heathen. The Most High doesn't want you sleeping with any heathens. Right. So let's get to it. I think I have one more precept. I told you I was going to get you one more. Let's go back to Proverbs. We'll get you two more. Let's go back to Proverbs real quick. We'll jump to Proverbs, and we'll jump to what Christ said. Proverbs 28, verse 9. That's where we're going. Proverbs 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Good, nice. So all you Christians saying that you don't have to keep the law, right? You Christians say you don't have to keep the law. I'm saved in the blood of Jesus. Blah, 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 blah. That's what y'all say. And y'all act like y'all getting the Holy Ghost, right? When the word ghost is not there. The Holy Spirit is just the vibe that you have when you keep the law. Right? So where were we? Proverbs 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Right? If you are sinning, the Most High is not listening to your prayers. Y'all love to say the Most High knows my heart. The Most High knows you're a filthy sinner. That's what's up. The Most High knows you are a sinner. All right, I got one more. I got to find it, though. Got one more for you. I got to find it. Matthew 5 and 48. Again, these are the words of Christ. So if you don't like what I'm saying, it's because you don't like the Bible and you hate God. All right, so let's go. Where are we? Okay, so Isaac, what are you saying? Is the Holy Spirit an entity? Like, I don't think you Christians even understand what you're saying, right? Salaki. Isaac, do you keep the law? And I got one more for you, Isaac. I'm asking you 3 questions. Do you keep the law? Are you saying the Holy Spirit is an entity? And what is your ethnicity? That's the most important one, Isaac. What is your ethnicity? Matthew 5:48 says, this is Christ's word. Who believes you can be perfect? If you could be perfect, if you think you could be perfect, put a 1 in the chat. Let's figure it out. All right, I'm gonna give you a second. If you believe you are perfect, you could be perfect, put a 1 in the chat. As a set of rules, no. Holy Spirit as a supernatural entity, yes. Good night. Listen, there's no spirit in you. The Holy Spirit is not an entity. It's just a vibe of keeping the Most High, right? So you're telling me this, you might be an LGBT community member, because when it says the Holy Spirit falls on men, you're probably thinking that a man is going to fall on top of you. Pause. Right? The Holy Spirit is the vibe that you get from keeping the law. All right. Let's go to where are we reading? Who says they can be perfect? Can Isaac, can you be perfect? All right. Isaac's taking too long. This is Matthew 5:48. This is Christ's words, right? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So again, you can be perfect. You can keep the law. You don't have to go and eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You don't have to commit adultery by sleeping with your brother's wife. You don't have to be a whoremonger. Our sisters don't have to be whores, right? They could just be perfect. This is Christ's words. Christ said it. So are you calling Christ a liar? I don't think you Christians even understand what you're saying half the time you're saying it, because you don't read the Bible, you don't understand the Bible, you don't study it, right? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So again, you could be perfect. I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja. This has been another law class. I gave you a bunch of precepts. You could go back and watch this. There's I.S.U.P.K Toronto on YouTube and Facebook, and also the app known formerly as Twitter, right? X. Go back and copy down these precepts. Isaac, you could be perfect if you are an Israelite. Right? You heathens, good night. That's a whole nother story. Y'all heathens, listen, y'all just enjoy the kingdom while you can. But Isaac, you can be perfect if you are a brother. If not, you know what? Just go work out. That's what you should do. Just go work out, because the kingdom under Christ is going to have a bondage for you. Right. So again, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. Shalom.